morning. Tom Estabrook at Estabrooks. Wanted to talk a little bit about sizing. Sizing on the website and how we look at it in the nursery trade. We've had a lot of questions about sizing of plants. If you notice on the website, it'll show number 2, number 3, number 5. A lot of people used to know this as gallon size, okay? But now it's a number with a number sign. The reason that has changed is because of weights and measures. Weights and measures said when we put a gallon on it, it had to meet an actual gallon measure. That didn't really translate to the horticulture industry. So now we call them a number 2, a number 3, a number 5. So here is an example of sizing. Here's a number 2, here's a number 3, here's a number 5, here's a number 7, here's a number 10. So you can see from the smallest number to the largest number, and then into balled and burlapped and larger size material, the bigger the number, the bigger the price, the bigger the size, typically. Now, there are exceptions to every rule, of course. Dwarf conifers are an exception. They don't always ring true because they're extremely slow growing. Some grow an inch a year, some grow 5 inches a year. So, that will change the game. Rhododendrons are also an exception. They are measured by width, not height. If you look at these, a lot of these are very similar in height in the top 3 ranges. But when you look at the width is what they're measured. Now, rhododendrons are the only thing we primarily measure by width, okay? That is an American Association standard. They're measured in width, not height. But when we go to other things, like we're gonna look at viburnums next, if you wanna come this way. And here you can see, here's a balled and burlap 4 to 5 foot, okay? Seed nice and heavy, balled, specimen quality material. Then we go to a 5 gallon, then a 3 gallon, and then a 2 gallon. The major differences is, number 1, size, of course, but also the amount of pruning that's been done at the nursery. So when you buy a small 2 gallon pot, you at home have to shape that plant much more than a 3 or a 5 gallon. Okay, again, same thing, 2 gallon or number 2, okay, would be the lowest price point, and up on price, depending on size. So when you're looking at the website, you can kind of gauge, the smaller the number, the smaller the size, and when you get into balled and burlapped, they are descripted by size. So it'll be 4 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot, 8 foot, 10 foot. We'll also look at some Kusa Dogwoods here shortly. When you start talking trees, there's a few different things. Obviously, your number 7, which is right here, Kusa Dogwood. Here's a number 10. And then here's 2.5 inch balled and burlap. So when we start talking about Kusa Dogwoods or any other trees, it rings true also that the number that is higher will be the larger size plant. Of course, these don't have any leaves on them now. They will ever change all the time throughout the season. So as we get into the season and things come in and out of inventory, things may change in size. So whenever you're looking at a video like this, you want to make sure that you understand what you're buying, okay? For the most part, if it's a lower number, it's gonna be a smaller size. And if we walk down here, you can see this is the 2.5 inch B&B. We come down here, I'll show you a 5 to 6 foot B&B. So when we start talking caliper, okay, we start talking the trunk size, like this. This is the caliper, okay? When we're going by height, we're looking more at this. This is not calipered up enough, okay? So now we grade this by height. This is a 5 to 6 foot Kusa Dogwood, nice specimen quality, okay? We don't grade that by the trunk. So if it's a balled and burlap tree and it's by height, it's a smaller size than a caliper. So if you see a caliper of 2 inch, 2.5 inch, 3 inch, that's gonna be a much larger plant than something that says 5 to 6 foot.